a very busy person. So
Oh, that's fine.
yes, thank you for being with us, Lesya. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yes,
Lesya?
yes, yep.
Great. So you've been CMO at Boston now for,
Almost a year.
wow, time flies. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I started in
Wow.
May. Feels
Yeah.
like a lot longer actually, but
I know, perspective. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, it's been a couple months, right? 10 years.
yeah.
But so most of your sort of signature so far has been around Truly, right?
Yeah, I mean, just was not when I was joining, it was starting to explode. So yeah, most of it has been.
Cool, cool. So I'm
Yeah,
super interested in, how that's done lately. I know that in recent weeks, you guys shared a few weeks ago that it had seen its best week ever. I think
yeah,
depletions were up 270%.
yeah,
The week
yeah.
315 are you guys continuing to see that build? Is it, slow down to its, previous trends of plus
Yeah,
150%?
I mean, what we're seeing, I mean, you guys are reporting on this as well. We're seeing that the stock up phase seems to have been waning a little, but the business is still, like, of all our businesses, it's still very strong. And what we just got a stat that on Drizzly, that of the top three sellers on Drizzly, it's White Claw, Truly, and then Bud Light. Not Bud Light Seltzer, Bud Light.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I think what's happening is, as especially millennials are stuck at home and, they're much more apt to order online. Our business is exploding there, but in general, it's just continuing to do extremely well. So yeah, we're very lucky.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I don't know if you can quantify it at all, but if you could just give me any, detail about the on-premise, which obviously has been completely decimated. It doesn't exist basically at this point. Has that taken a hit into Truly at all? Because it had such a small percentage of an
Yeah.
on-premise presence anyway, right?
Yeah. The vast majority of our business was off premise. So that's really not affected the overall business much. We had just had launched the draft product, but it was still relatively small. Like, comparatively speaking, our off-premise still is huge. So really has not affected the overall number too much.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And then the lemonade, right? That I think just
Yeah.
launched in January. Uh,
Yeah.
it's already, or maybe it's higher by now, but I think we reported a couple weeks ago it's like the number 6 hard sparkling water.
Yeah. So lemonade, I mean, so yeah, so White Claw's at like a 54 share, Truly's at a 22. Lemonade is 4 of the 22.
Okay.
So lemonade is bigger than Bon and Viv and Natty combined. Just
Wow,
lemonade.
that's
Yeah.
crazy. And you're
Yeah.
seeing it continue to pull. That's been kind
Yeah.
of on its.
So yes, it's doing incredibly well. Like, trial repeat numbers are all very strong. And what we're finding is we think we're bringing a new consumer in. So we're finding that, because lemonade is a little sweeter, we're bringing in people to the seltzer category that were maybe not in it before, because they wanted something a little sweeter. So that feels good, because I think that's helping us. So, like, the net, the big story for us is that when Bud Light launched, we were watching extremely carefully, obviously, as everybody was. And out of their 10 share points, 7 came out of White Claw, and then the rest came out of other people. So our share stayed completely, stable, which we're thrilled with. And I think there's really 2 reasons. One is that we have a different consumer, and I can tell you a little bit about that with stats. And then the other one is lemonade. So I think we've kind of carved out a space that's a little different than the other competitors. And it looks like they're kind of fighting it out for the same, more like a light beer consumer, a light beer occasion. And we're fighting it out. We've kind of carved out our own space.
It's
So,
more diverse, right? Your consumer's more diverse.
yeah, so we've got so we kind of have so we have a higher income consumer, we have a more diverse consumer, and we source more from wine and spirits. And that has continued to be. So we've got stats, like we have 54% of our consumers have over $100,000 in income. White Claw has 42%. We have 20% non-white, they have 13%. This is a big one, I think, for our industry. We're sourcing 51% of our consumers from wine and spirits, and they're sourcing 39%. So you can just kind of see, like, it's just a slightly different consumer in a lot of different ways. And so I think the Bud Light consumer matches the White Claw consumer much more, much better. And so that's where they're kind of fighting that out for those share points.
Right. But do you expect, so, we've been talking a lot about, we don't know how long this thing is going to last, people sheltering in place, the on-premise being closed, but it seems the farther we've gotten into it so far, the longer the path looks to be ahead. So if this continues, do you see potentially a flattening of trends or even a decline for even something like Truly, considering that it's sort of premiumly priced and Americans are, having to kind of pinch their pennies potentially?
I don't see any signs of that. I mean, I think it's becoming the light beer for the young consumer, and it would be hard to imagine that that's going to change. I think if this had been a year ago and people were still just trying the category and didn't really know it, but now they've already had a whole year of establishing their habits.
Yeah.
And it would be really, I can't see that happening. I mean, of course you never know, and I actually think, I mean, there are some stats too that Bump, I think, is pulled out, and we're looking for as well, that people are actually consuming a little bit more these days.
Yes.
So again, like your habits are, getting more ingrained. And I think because all the seltzer qualities, right? It's 100 calories, 1 gram of sugar, it's still relatively light compared to having, a heavy sugary cocktail every night. So it would be hard to imagine that it's going to decline.
Right. No, the intrinsics make sense. It's funny that you talk about Bump saying people are going to continue to drink because Nielsen did a report last week with the BA, and it said, 50% said they were drinking the same, 22% said they were drinking more, and 27% or so, right? 28% said they were drinking less. But of the people who said they were drinking more, it was like all my age group with kids, right? We have to drink to survive. As long as we have parents at home with kids right now, there's going to be people who drink more.
I think those 50%, whatever, they're lying.
Right, totally. And there's another side.
Want to admit it. Right. I literally have not talked to anybody who, whether they have young kids, old kids, no kids in the house.
Sure.
It's like, you're just trying to make it to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, right. Any new marketing messaging? I know it's been really tough. Companies have to be careful about how they message right now. You don't want to be too joyous. You want to be conscientious. What are you guys thinking for Truly going forward? Are you running anything new?
Yeah, we were about to launch a very joyous campaign that we are holding.
Yeah.
And we're just going to find the right time to do it. And we have a product spot that we ran on the Super Bowl. It's a pretty just simple product spot, so we're just running that. But we also are just about to launch something online. So one of the things about this category is it is pretty kind of fun and light, even compared to Sam Adams, which is a bit more of an earnest kind of a brand. So we have to be conscious of course, the time, the sensibility right now, but we also kind of have to do the right things for the brand. So one of the things we're about to launch actually tomorrow is a social and digital campaign, which is called Your Birthday Isn't Canceled. And basically, if your birthday isn't while we're quarantined, we will send you a gift certificate that you can buy Truly for you and your friends. And then we're also going to donate to the Restaurant Relief Fund. But the whole idea is, celebrate at home, seltzer and shelter, I think is what we're calling it. And we actually have a stat that on average, people spend $300 on their birthdays with their friends in restaurants and bars. So that's a pretty significant, that's significant. Obviously, we know that bars and restaurants are hurting. And this is one of the times that you would have spent the money. So we're trying to help with that. And then we'll also make a donation to the Restaurant Relief Fund. So so we're trying to do things that are making people feel a little, just helping their emotional state during this time at home.
Will they be, how will that happen? I mean, I'm sure it's an online thing, right? You sign up for it online, or is it for Drizzly, or how does the
we're talking to Drizzly actually, so we're trying to see if they can help us. They're pretty overwhelmed right now, but we're trying to see if we can do a deal with them. So you're going to be able to just, sign up online, verify that it's your birthday's coming up, and we'll send you a gift certificate. That's probably the way I was just getting the details before I got on this call because we're launching tomorrow. But I mean, I could get you, I know Megan's on the phone. If I could get you a couple of the details if you wanted to, but that's pretty much how it's going to be. It's going to be pretty simple.
How about just the ability to move with the brand and expand it at all right now? I know some shelf sets have been sort of put on pause, right? Is Truly's shelf space expanding at all? Are you guys able to, if you wanted to innovate in this space in the next couple months, could you? Those sorts of concerns.
Right now, most resets, I'm sure you know this, but most of the resets have been put on hold. I mean, what we know right now is wholesalers and retailers are ordering core packs. So, but we are benefiting because we are, I think we are just one of those brands that in the category that everybody's still thinking about. So I wouldn't say it's expanding, but we're still getting display space. Like we're getting our more than our fair share of attention.
Right.
Because it's still a high interest category to everybody. So yeah,
In
feel pretty
terms of,
lucky.
yeah, I mean, I know that when I do get to the store, I definitely see Truly definitely has its spot still. So
Yeah, okay, good.
yeah, at least my HEB and my Whole Foods. So, but in terms of production, you guys are still able to keep up yourselves, obviously, and your contract producers, even with the workforce restrictions and all of that stuff. And that's
we are running, yeah, we are running almost exactly as we were before. So again, feeling good about it, but yeah, we're cranking it out.
Yeah. And then kind of with the last earnings call, you all were talking about, kind of revamping the supply chain for Truly so that it could be more efficient. Have those plans, have they been put on hold, or is that still
No, we're still moving ahead with all that.
Cool.
Yep.
It's good for distributors to hear, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then what about, we talked about messaging with Truly. What about any messaging for the other brands? Obviously Sam Adams.
Yeah. Well, we were ready with 3 big campaigns that we literally were launching within, that week that it hit. So we're really holding on everything. Our brands in general are lighthearted and fun, and it's just not the right moment right now to be launching anything. So we have everything ready. We've planned, we've replanned, we've with Restaurant Strong, we've done the things that are right for the moment, but when the time is right, we feel good that we can get back up and running and talking to the consumer again, and hopefully a very hopeful and positive way, like, whenever that's going to be. So we're just, as I know you've written about, and other people we're just doing it day by day. We're just trying to monitor what's going on. We just heard New York cases are down today. That's good. I don't know if you heard that, but Cuomo, he's got his daily briefing. Where are you, by the way? You're in Boston? You're in Boston.
No, thank God. So we moved from New York in the fall of 2016, not long after my son was born. And I mean, I thank my lucky stars that we're in Texas now. Where I'm from, that we're not in New York right now, because my gosh, that's so tough.
Yeah.
I really feel for those people. There's talk about shelter in place. You can't go anywhere without being right on top of a person there.
I know. Yeah, we just moved to Boston a year ago, and from the Upper West Side. We're like, oh my God, thank God we're not there.
Yeah. Talking about Sam Adams and how that's usually a lighthearted brand, I've got to think that Boston Lager, being such, a legacy brand, is probably doing better right now than it has been.
It is. It's one of the core brands that, what we're finding is, unfortunately, you're not going to try a new craft brew right now, or you're going back to what's familiar. And Sam and Lager is actually doing well. I mean, everything's up right now, but Sam is doing pretty well. So we're happy about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So when everything's up right now, is that even considering the off-premise being gone? Are you guys up totally right now, or is that moving?
Okay, no, that's a good question. So no, I mean, with Sam, I think looking at the IRI numbers, which I think are mostly off-premise. So we could get you, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll talk soon. And I'll follow up with y'all momentarily.
Okay.
Thanks, Jen.
Thanks.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.